Hello everyone, thanks for tuning in to today's third video. We're going to have a look at the weather for the next 10 to 14 days for today's third video. So day 10 is going to take us around the 5th of September. We'll be able to extend out beyond that with GFS and ECM ensembles, maybe around a couple of weeks. Have a look at CFS V2 at the end of the video for the next 4 weeks. That'll take us into the second half of September. Thank you so much everybody for tuning in on this Thursday. I hope you're having a lovely Thursday afternoon. So the first video released today was our 7 AM forecast. We've also released a European outlook. Check out those two videos if you'd like to. Back, please like, share, subscribe on all of the videos. Thank you so much, everyone. Right, let's begin with Tropical Atlantic then. So we've got 3 disturbance areas, including that red X just there. More about that in a second. Let's deal with the 2 yellow X's first of all, though. We've got this one just here. That is disturbance free with a 40% chance of cyclone formation in the next 2 days and a 50% chance in the next 5 days. It's possible that could become a tropical storm in the coming days. We've also got this one just here, that's disturbance 2, with a 40% chance of cyclone formation in the next 2 days and a 70% chance, a high chance, in the next 5 days. They're saying a trough of low pressure located over the central Atlantic, about 600 miles east of Bermuda, continues to produce disorganised showers and thunderstorms. Environmental conditions are forecast to be generally conducive for development, and a tropical depression is likely to form late this week or this weekend while the system moves slowly eastwards at 5 to 10 miles per hour. That one could become a tropical storm and or hurricane, might get itself towards the Azores. I'll have to see about that. It's going to go in that sort of direction. Azores being just there, of course. But more worryingly, I think, is this red X just here. So that is disturbance 1, I think. There's so much to read about that. With a 90% chance of cyclone formation in the next 2 days and a 90% chance in the next 5 days. This is going to become a tropical storm imminently, then, basically. Now, there is so much to read, I can't possibly go through all of that, but the basic idea is that disturbance 1 is going to become a tropical storm, probably a hurricane, and go in this sort of direction up into the Gulf of Mexico, and is likely to impact the Gulf Coast at some point through the early part of next week. Now, the GFS model has really been going to town with this disturbance area and developing it into a very significant hurricane in the Gulf of Mexico over the weekend and into next week. Of course, it is only the GFS, but I think they are quite concerned about it, given the amount that there is to read on this. It's very unusual. You see such a detailed report, you know, for just a disturbance area. There's a huge amount there to read, and towards this bottom section, they do say that the system is expected to enter the Gulf of Mexico Friday night and continue moving northwards towards the central and northwestern USA Gulf Coast, potentially bringing dangerous impacts. Already saying dangerous impacts from storm surge, wind, and heavy rainfall portions of the coast of Texas, Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, Florida Panhandle from Sunday to Monday. And then they talk about the uncertainty and whatnot, but they're already worried about dangerous impacts from this. And if I show you the latest GFS 6Z, you'll see the reason why. So this is the area just here. So our 3 disturbance areas, this will trouble tidbits by the way, our 3 disturbance areas, that's the one just there, that's the one that might get itself to the Azores, and then this is the one that we are really concerned about just here. Now, if I push this through, you'll be able to see how this develops and deepens into the Gulf of Mexico, becoming a very, very, very significant area of low pressure, about deepening all the time. So this is Sunday when it's offshore from the Gulf Coast down to 967 millibars. I think that's probably getting quite close towards Category 3 status, so major hurricane status there. It deepens a little bit further as well, goes down to 958 millibars just here. That would certainly be into Category 3 status as it pushes onto the Gulf Coast. And this is midday on Sunday. So a direct impact on the Gulf Coast there. We're probably, at the moment, being forecast to be a Category 3 hurricane. Would be very, very significant. That's making landfall somewhere around Louisiana, I think. So maybe, you know, a bit of a concern for New Orleans, I suppose. But it is quite concerning the way the GFS is whipping this up into a very significant feature. Yesterday, it's actually deepening it even further, down to 935 millibars, something like that, which would be like Category 4 hurricane, or perhaps even getting off Category 5. So it's not going quite as deep as that at the moment with this latest GFS operation run. Nevertheless, that does look like a very, very, very significant hit on the Gulf Coast there through the weekend and into the early part of next week. So anybody watching from the Gulf Coast will need to heed the warnings and watch this storm very, very, very carefully. This could become a very nasty hurricane over this weekend in the Gulf Coast. So just keep an eye on things if you are watching from that part of America. We'll keep you updated, of course. Right, coming back to home, South Central temperature is currently looking. So CT is currently standing at 16.5, which is a nominally 0.6 of a degree above average, provisional to yesterday, to the 25th of the month. I think it's going to come in somewhere in below 16, so 16.2 was a projection. I don't think that's going to be too far out. These are the GFS upper air temperature and precipitation ensembles. The next couple of weeks, we're looking at London today. So red line. No, we're not looking at Northampton today. Local to me. What am I talking about? Looking at Northampton today. The red line is a 30-year upper air temperature average for Northampton. We're starting off above average at the moment with the upper air temperature. They're going to drop the end of the week and into the weekend. So it will actually become a little bit warmer by day, though, I think, because the sun's going to start coming out a little bit more across the eastern areas. We've been in a lot of cloud over the past few days. But I think get a bit more sunshine over the weekend. But nights could become a little bit cooler on the other hand. Next week, we get a bit of a lift up in the upper air temperatures as we begin September. And then beyond that, through the first week into second week of September, quite close to average, but there is a lot of scatter. We've got these much colder or cooler anyway ensemble members down here. They've got relatively warm ensemble members up here, including the midnight operational GFS run, which really takes off and becomes a very warm outlier. Later on, you'll get to see that in a second. Precipitation-wise, going to be loads of dry weather still over the next week or so, next week, 10 days. High pressure will be dominating, and that's going to keep things very, very dry. Could be seeing signs that things get a little bit more unsettled by the end of the first week of September and into the second week of September. It's possible we might be starting to see just the first hints of a bit of a breakdown of the high pressure by then, but of course that's a long way out and it is extended range. Temperature anomalies on the 26th of August to 3rd of September above average for the north and west, particularly Ireland and Scotland, a little bit below average for parts of England and Wales, and especially so down in the south. Precipitation anomalies on the 26th of August to 3rd of September are going to be very, very substantially drier than average, with many areas having 5% or less of their average rainfall. Latest wind from that from earthnullschool.net shows that high pressure is well and truly in control of the weather, sitting over the northern half of the country, and around the high pressure bringing wind from a rather cool north-northeasterly direction. That's bringing quite a lot of cloud to southern and eastern areas. Right, let's start rattling through. We're going to rattle through the generic charts. Going to look up the UK Met first of all at weather outlook. So high pressure is dominating the weather just around northwest on Sunday. Into Monday, high pressure continues to dominate the scene. It carries on through into the middle of next week. And in this time next week, which is midnight on Thursday, the 2nd of September, you've guessed it, that high pressure is still right in over top of the coast. Certainly no change before the beginning of September. Right, this is how the GFS midnight run is looking, again with high pressure sitting right over top of the coast, with loads of dry fine weather over the bank holiday weekend. That'll carry on through all of next week, really. High pressure right back to Friday for September, sitting over the top of the country. So we're high and dry through into the first weekend of September. That's 5th of September, which is day 10. No changes. High pressure is in control of weather. Now, just beyond that, we start to see the high pressure begin to slip a little bit. just starting to slip southwards. Lower pressure into moving to northwest Scotland could bring some rain to Scotland. Still mainly dry for England and Wales, actually, but just a little bit more unsettled around the 6th, 7th of September for northern half of the country. Might actually turn quite wet and windy there for northern Scotland by the 8th of September, but for the south, we're still under this area of high pressure. And that high pressure actually starts to bring some real heat up from the south as we go into the second week of September before it finally collapses. And this looks like a much more definitive breakdown right at the very end of GFS midnight run, which today gets to the 11th of September. That looks like a much more definitive breakdown with quite a deep autumnal low coming in off the Atlantic, bringing probably a band of rain and strong winds. Just quickly go back to this ridge idea here. So this is bringing up quite a lot of heat from the south. If I show you the upper air temperatures with that, you'll see that we have got the plus 15 Celsius isotherm there towards the south-southwest. That almost gets, or could almost get temperature to around 30 degrees, despite the lateness of the year in the south. But bear in mind, if we go back here, we do see that that is a clear outlier, you know, the way the upper air temperatures lift off like that at the end on that GFS one. So it's unlikely that we get as hot as that, but nevertheless, you know, it's the idea that certainly up to day 10, high pressure in control brings a lot of dry and warm weather, but with a few hints now just creeping in there, but we might start turning things a little bit more unsettled, certainly by the second week of September. Might start to weaken the ridge a bit. Right, let's have a look at GFS 6 FM. This is the very latest. High pressure again is dominating weather in control of weather on Sunday into Monday and through into Tuesday and Wednesday and Thursday and Friday. The high pressure continues to be in control of the weather, brings loads of dry and fine conditions. This low just here, I hope you can see that, I hope I'm not obscuring the view on that, below just to the northeast of the Azores by that point, that is a remains of what could become a tropical storm or hurricane at the moment. But up to day 10, high pressure still in control of the weather here on the GFS 6 there, but by day 10, 5th of September, again, just begin to see a few hints at high pressure beginning to weaken, starting to slip back towards Germany and Poland. Low pressure beginning to deepen in the North Atlantic. This is the first hints of a breakdown. So just beyond day 10 to the 6th of September, we push the Atlantic through. There we go, pushing the Atlantic through with this area of low pressure to the north and probably a band of wet weather coming across the country and cooler air then begin to dig in from the north and the northwest. When the extended range turns quite unsettled for a while, but the high pressure begins to try and reach back in from the southwest again. Inconclusive, but we might be seeing one or two hints within the GFS extended range of a little bit more mobility, you know, towards the end of the first week of September, possibly into the second week of the month. So our GM is talking. If you enjoyed the video, by the way, please can you smash the like button to make sure you sub to the channel. Thank you so much, everybody, for doing that. And drop a comment and let us know what you think about this and all of our videos. Thank you so much. Right, GM, high pressure in control of weather on Sunday. Again, mainly dry and fine. The high pressure vest goes on through the whole of next week. No changes whatsoever, all the way up to day 10. We're high and dry. So there's nothing else to say, really, with that. The ECM, again, up to day 10, I think it's going to be anti-cyclonic. Let's have a look. High pressure in control through all of next week. No changes. By day 10, though, maybe again, just showing some hints of weakening. The high pressure patch beginning to slip back towards Germany and Poland. Lower pressure deepening around Iceland, possibly by day 10, just a few hints. But it begins to turn a little bit more unsettled, particularly initially to the north and west with some outbreaks of rain and stronger winds. So day 10, you know, could be the day when the high pressure begins to break. But then again, it is 10 days away, and so it is unreliable. Well, through this very quickly because it's going to be basically dry through the next week. So loads of dry weather coming up over next week. A few showers flirting with the east or the southeast. Not much going on until we get to day 10. I mean, see this band of wet weather coming into the north and west. That is like a bit of a breakdown starting to take place. It might be a temporary breakdown, but it's a bit of a breakdown starting to take place on day 10 with some wind and rain coming into the north. Right, let's turn webcam off and we'll have a look at the options on the table within the ECM ensembles for day 10. These are them. This is going to get us to the 5th of September. 18 members of ECM ensembles have high pressure reaching in the North Atlantic, going up towards Greenland with low pressure over Greenland, Iceland. And so that will bring in quite a cool north-northeast wind. It could be a little bit showery for eastern parts of the country. Then we've got 17 with high pressure sort of over to the west of the country. It's going to be mostly dry, you would have thought. And then 16 climate control and the operation run with this ridge of high pressure to the northwest. Possibly by day 10, though. Might start seeing a little bit of a breakdown. 2 weeks' time, these are the options that we've got. This gets us to the 10th of September. We have 11 members of the East Ensembles then that have broken through the low pressure. So that's much more unsettled, of course. High pressure slipping away to the east. So yes, we're unsettled with that one. 11 have high pressure just to the east. Low pressure in the middle of the Atlantic can remain dry and potentially very warm with that. It could bring up wind from the south. 9 look really unsettled. This deep trough of low pressure over top of the country. That's autumnal. And we've got 8 down here with low pressure to our north-northeast. That's unsettled as well. Sending wind on the northwest-southeast alignment. 7 with high pressure to the south and low pressure to the north, winds in from the west with that one. And then we've got 5 just here with a ridge of high pressure over the top of the country. Very, very inconclusive, therefore, in 2 weeks' time for the 10th of September. But we may have some hints here of a bit of a breakdown by the second week of September. But it is a really, really long way off, especially with this sort of active hurricane season that we've got at the moment. CFS V2 lastly, and then we're done for today's video. So it's a 500 millibar heights breakdown into week periods. The first week period can take us from the 26th of August to the 1st of September. Coming week is going to be dominated by high pressure, so mainly dry. And that's it. So we go through to week 2. Nothing else to say. Week 2 is the 2nd to the 8th of September, and again, high pressure is in control. So through the first week of September, still dominated, absolutely dominated by high pressure. But a change can take place into week 3, 9th to 15th of September. The high pressure is slipping back into eastern parts of Europe and also pulling into the middle of the North Atlantic with some lower pressure developing around Greenland and Iceland. That's probably starting to break down the high pressure and turns a little bit more unsettled. And by the time you get through to week 4, we look properly unsettled. There's the 16th, 22nd of September with low pressure over and to the north of the country. High pressure down towards Spain. We're in a flat westerly flow and just much more autumnal with that, particularly so for northern areas with spells of rain and probably some quite strong winds maybe as well. So autumn commences, from around the second week of September onwards. There is the breakdown. It's a gradual transition into what does look like a pretty unsettled middle part of the month. But it's all extended range, and certainly in the next week to 10 days, high pressure will be dominant. Right, if you enjoyed the video, please hit the smash like button. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Thank you so much, everybody, for doing that. You're going to be able to see future weather content if you do give us a sub. Tell your friends and family to subscribe as well. We are on the grind to 12k subscribers. We've got to put on around another 65, 70 subscribers to get ourselves to 11.9k, I think. So yeah, it was a bit of a slower day yesterday. It's to be expected with this very quiet weather. But please give us a sub if you'd like to do that. Thank you so much, everybody, for doing this. And drop a comment. Let us know what you think about this and all of our videos at the end of the video. And thank you so much to Rich for the GIF. Rich created this GIF like last year, I think, last summer. And the amount of subscribers that we put on since then, since Rich created this, has been absolutely fantastic. So thank you so much to Richard for the GavsWeatherVids subscribe GIF. Right, that's it for today's videos then. Tomorrow, we've got a busy day coming up, so we're going to start off 7 AM forecast, where we'll have the EC 42 day slash 6 week forecast for UK and for Ireland. GMA Friday, so very much looking at like the next month to 6 weeks. Tomorrow, focus. And also 10 to 14 day as well, with all the regular features. So it's going to be a busy, busy old day. And that is setting up what is going to be a tremendously busy weekend. Oh, and let's not forget, Friday night live streams return. I nearly did. Friday night live streams return tomorrow night at just after 10 PM. So, going to be episode 1, season 2 of the GavsWeatherVids Friday Night Live Streams. We're going to be back streaming on a Friday from tomorrow. So, I better get ready for that. You better get yourself ready for that. My next door neighbour, Claire, will probably better get ready for that as well. But we'll have a bit of a laugh, tomorrow after 10. So, yeah, busy day tomorrow. It's going to be a very busy weekend. I'll tell you what's coming up over the weekend at the end of one of tomorrow's videos. But for today's vids, that's all for now. You enjoy the rest of your Thursday, and I shall see you tomorrow. That's all for now. Thanks for watching.